Chickens come home to roost, quoting Malcolm X. In other words, they deserve what they got. Linwood City Council has not condemned those remarks. Multiply these attitudes by every Democratic office holder in America, and you won't be surprised to see our cities burning and our cops murdered. There were riots last night in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, of all places. Never thought you'd see a riot there. The details in that story tell you everything about what's happening to the country. A 27-year-old man called Ricardo Munoz charged at police with a knife in his hand. And it wasn't an idle threat in his case. Munoz was booked last year for knifing four strangers, including a teenager. So the cops shot Munoz in self-defense. Good for him. You would have done the same or you would have been killed. We're not speculating about that, by the way. Here's body cam footage.
Where'd they go? Get back, get back.
Yeah, it's not a close call. A still frame photograph from the video clearly shows Munoz with a knife raised as he charges wildly at the officer. So the police released that footage because they thought it would calm tensions. Of course, the guy had a knife. He'd been busted for knifing four people. The cop was about to be the fifth. Calm down, everyone. There was a reason we shot him. That's what the police were thinking. And in a reasonable country, it would have been over. Of course they shot him. But Joe Biden voters and BLM activists responded the way that Democrats have trained them to respond. They immediately smashed windows, they attacked a post office and a police station. They set literal dumpster fires in the streets. Watch this. So what are they trying to tell us by rioting? What point are they making? This is a demonstration. Okay, what's the message? That the guy trying to knife a cop is a martyr? Apparently they want you to think that. Just like they now require you to believe that George Floyd was a role model for your kids. Grow up and be like George Floyd's son. It's all such an absurd lie. And everyone who's paying attention knows it's a lie. But they demand that we all play along. And they punish us if we don't. And what are the results? The most obvious result of this ongoing scam, this grotesque scam on the country, is that cops get murdered. Last week in North Carolina, a police officer was shot in the face and killed when he responded to a break-in. On Sunday, somebody fired a rifle at police in New York as they responded to a domestic violence call. Should they not respond to domestic violence calls? They won't if people keep doing this. The Democratic Party has encouraged them to resist. So we're told we can't blame the people who pulled the triggers for the violence. And by the way, unlike the Republican Party, Democrats, when they come up with a talking point, they stick to it. And they repeat it so often and at such volume that millions of people believe it. Because again, people tend to believe what they're told. We've got 200 years of practice. People believe those in authority. And for most of our history, it was worth believing people in authority, no more. So watch as everyone from congressmen to activists to mayors at all levels of government repeat the same mantra. It's the cops' fault. It's our fault. It's your fault. We need to reimagine law enforcement.
The folks in law enforcement that share the goals of reimagining police.
Reimagining policing in the 21st century.
Rethinking and reimagining policing.
Community efforts to reimagine policing.
To reimagine policing.
We have to reimagine what policing looks like.
Reimagining policing, reimagining our public safety.
Reimagine a citizen-led approach.
You can begin to reimagine law enforcement.
Reimagine public safety in this country.
What can we do to reimagine public safety?
Reimagining public safety.
To reimagine public safety. We must reimagine what public safety looks like.
So what does reimagining the police look like? Shooting them? Maybe. We don't know. No one's specified. Least of all, Joe Biden. He's never even imagined police in the first place. He's been in a bubble for 50 years. He has no idea what's going on in America. Watch Joe Biden declare that police right now just don't pull over white people somehow. Watch.
If I were your daughter, what advice would you give me the next time I am stopped by the police?
If you were my daughter, you'd be a Caucasian girl and you wouldn't be pulled over.
What a buffoon. It's hard to believe they're running that guy, silly old fool. But behind Joe Biden's vacant smile and laughably outdated assumptions about an America that does not exist and hasn't for many years is a group of hard-eyed handlers right behind him, and they know exactly what's going on. And they have a purpose for it. These people want power. They know that effective, honest, independent local law enforcement stands in the way, in their way. The left already controls the FBI completely. They want your police department to come to heel. That's their plan. And if dead cops are the price, they think it's worth it. Bernie Carrick served as the police commissioner of our biggest police force, the NYPD, and we're happy to have him on tonight. Bernie Carrick, thanks so much for coming on tonight.